Hi, Tracy here from Tutordude. This is part 2 of learning the letter sounds. So in the first part of this, I looked at the first 6 letters that we teach and the reasons why we teach those 6 letters. Now we move on to the next 6 letters and we add those to the previous 6 that we've already learned, and we can read even more words as we're learning to read and spell. So the first one is TH. Now TH has 2 sounds. It says S and it also says Z. Now the difference is here, whether you're using your voice box or not. In the first one, which is like in thumb, if you put your hand here on your voice box, you can't feel anything. If you say the second sound, like in the middle of feather, feather, you can feel it buzz because your voice box is moving. And that's the only subtle difference between the way we say the 2 sounds. It's really important as well that the children put their tongue between their teeth and they don't accidentally mispronounce and say the sound for letter F or the sound for letter V, which are very often confused. One thing you can do to help your child if they're struggling to get their tongue stuck out is one finger has to come forwards at the same time as you stick your tongue out to start with. So you go. Once you can do that step, seems a bit bizarre but it really works. Once you can do that step, then start to stick your tongue out and then make one of the sounds as you go. So you've got to get the tongue in the correct position before you can go on to make the sound. So work on putting the tongue correctly first. Now this one can be difficult for children. They often don't learn to say that sound correctly until they're about 6. So developmentally it might take them a little bit longer than some others to say that one. The next sound that we teach in the second set is letter C. Now letter C makes 2 sounds. It makes the sound K, which is also known as the hard sound, and it also makes the sound S, which is known as the soft sound. So K goes at the beginning of words like cat and candle, and it goes at the beginning of words like, the S sound goes at the beginning of circle and circus. And that S sound is influenced by the vowel which follows immediately, whether it's an E, I or a Y, because those 3 vowels are going to make the letter C go S. That's a pretty consistent rule as well to learn, so it's a good one to know. The next sound is letter E. Simply it says 2 sounds, E, the short sound and the long sound. Some children get this one confused with letter I, and There's so little difference. So stand in front of the mirror and watch the difference here in your face and here in your cheeks. When you say you should be able to feel the difference in your face. So watch, feel, get some more feedback to help the children know which one is which. The next one is letter D. The only tricky thing about letter D is to make sure it's D, not D. So you're keeping it to a really short, as crisp as you can, D sound. Sometimes children do get this one confused with D, with T, because D and T are what we call a speech pair. The only difference between D, and T. So T has no voice box, T, and D uses your voice box, D. Everything else is the same. That's why they get those 2 confused. So just practice, listen, put your hand here and check if you're using your voice box or not. Letter H isn't the H sound that we were perhaps taught at school. Much more of a just air. Most commonly used at the beginning of words or the beginning of syllables. If it's at the end of a word, it's usually hanging out with another letter to make a completely different sound. So just make sure it's totally just an unvoiced sound, just air. Good one, because you can feel it on your hand if you do it right. And the last one in the second set is letter V. Now to make the sound correctly, you need to put your top teeth onto your bottom lip, and it uses your voice box. Letter F, which often is confused and we don't teach it yet, doesn't use your voice box. So letter F, letter V. One with a voice box, one without. So just use those tips to help your child to learn the sounds and then start building words. And if you're looking for words to practice, have a look on the Tutordude website. We've got heaps of words for you.